Well, it looks like I started the show a little bit early. I guess what I'm going to do is remind everyone we are not forgetting the Epstein files. No siree, not a freaking chance. In fact, I'll start this show off here with a quick reminder before we just even get to the intro, huh? Now, Jane Doe, in a court document filed, affidavit, meaning sworn testimony, from June of 2016 said, Trump and Mr. Epstein knew that I was 13 years old. Trump had sexual contact with me at 4 different parties in the summer of 1994. Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. Here's some more. During the course of this savage sexual attack, I loudly pleaded with Defendant Trump to stop, but he did not. Defendant Trump responded to my pleas by violently striking me in the face with his open hand and screaming that he would do whatever he wanted. Well, gee whiz. That kind of sounds a lot like the president we have who says he's going to do whatever the fuck he wants in the Middle East, in the Far East, in Europe, in Greenland, in Cuba, in Venezuela, in Colombia, in Mexico, in Alberta, Canada. You know, it's just... We're there, folks. We're really there. But do not forget, the Epstein files are just waiting for the rest of this crap. The rest of this crap. Anyways, let's do this. Let's get the show started, shall we? It's that time.
Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
And we're back. It is March the 22nd, 2026. This is a brand new bottle of Glenlivet 14-year single malt special barrel. Oh, good golly. I want to thank all you guys for supporting the channel and everything else that we need to get this happening. I got to break the seal here. There we go. And thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Nikki, for the knife. All right, that is it. Single malt Scotch whiskey. Delicious. There is. Woo! There is a shortage of Scotch in Florida, it seems. It's getting harder and harder to find and more expensive. And so, right out the bat, folks, we've got a couple of super chats that are Scotch worthy. The way this works, if you're new to the Prepared Mind channel, Sunday Night Live is open to everyone. We got 2 YouTube channels, not just 1, but 2. Plus the preparedmind.club, our premium website, where you can participate in the Monday through Friday live broadcast. Then we have subscribestar.com. We've got Uman's X channel. I have been permanently and forever suspended by X. Isn't that interesting? Oh, yeah, free speech is a lovely thing. I tell you. Anyways, so Super Chats, there's the button right up there. And then down below, we got CashApp, Venmo, and PayPal. That's how you can get your Super Chats in. $50 Super Chat or more. Does what? Does what? Well, I'll tell you what, it buys me one of these delicious scotches. It keeps the lights on. It keeps the Spam, the tuna fish in the pantry up. And folks, we're going to need it. I am getting more and more serious. It is getting freaking nasty. And we're going to talk about it. Shit has hit the fan. Starting out today, though, Chin Music checking in with a $52.23 Venmo super chat. You get the first one out of the bottle there, Chin. Oh, man. Like mother's milk. Shot glass provided by www.pewter.com. Our good friends over there. They've taken care of our shot glasses, our whiskey flasks, etc. Anyways, this is what Chin has to say. Says, I need a break, man. This shit is just so exhausting. Some MAGA, Make America Great Again types are just as blind as lefty communists when it comes to being lied to by their own side. So now Ben Shapiro and Mark Micropenis Levin and Dan Bongina get to decide who is Make America Great Again, who is MAGA. Let me remind you, Mark Levin was a never Trumper in 2016. Ben Shapiro voted for Hillary. Chin Music says, they can kiss my goyim ass. I was Make America Great Again before it was cool and while they were sabotaging the movement in its infancy. And I can attest to that because, well, Chin Music would send me information, what he was doing politically, and it was incredible, folks. It was nothing. It grew into something. It got Trump into office, and now it's shit. So, anyways, let's continue with what Chin says. He says, and now half of our side has completely forgotten that part of the story. The fact that all of these never Trumpers and Trump haters and everything, right? They didn't want to join. They called MAGA a cult, but then they were able to take over. Anyways, he says, these two squeaky beta midgets that sound like squirrels on a diet of meth and rabies don't speak for me. Oh boy, would I like to be able to sound off on them in public. Again, I need a break. Thank you, Chin Music, for that. And I got to suggest, man, if you need a break, have yourself a scotch. Or if you're feeling a little down, get yourself a cup of coffee by cafefe.com. That's right. I'm one of the deplorables out here. And I really love cafefe.com coffee. They are patriots, folks. They're not a bunch of turncoats. They're not a bunch of fucking sellouts. They're not saying, hey, we're veterans, buy our stuff, but don't worry, we're communists too. That's not this company right here. In any event, here we go. Now, Chin Music says, I need a break. I think we all feel like we have been dragged, kicking and screaming through this endless political and psychological cesspool called SHTF that hit us back in March of 2020. March of 2020, folks, 6 years ago. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 6. Count them. 6 years of SHTF. Yeah, we've all been dragged through this, right? When we said it's hitting the fan, it's hit. And we meant it. And folks, here's the deal. Even though we're beat up, even though we're all tired, we all need to support one another. Period. We need to share information. Period. We need to stay current. Otherwise, we will forget who all the sneaky, slimy liars are. Shapiro, Boomer, Levin, Dushwitz, all of them. Dan Bongina, all of them. Now, I've got more. I've got Darcy T, and I've got Big Dan the Man Erickson checking in with a $5 super chat. You hit that button right up there. We're going to get him in live here. And he has a great topic. All these old fossils in Congress. Hey, whether we're talking about Turtles Mitch McConnell, the Republican, or Nancy 90-proof Pelosi, it doesn't matter. There's so many of these old fucks. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. All these old fossils in Congress need to retire from serving themselves and not the people. A bunch of deadwood that does not get anything done. Dan, you are too generous, too considerate, too nice to these fucking people in Congress, whether they're congressmen or senators. It doesn't matter. Lisa Murkowski looks like a Looks like a partially animated mummy. She looks like she's been laying in a pool of natrium, getting the moisture sucked out of her. She is disgusting. I mean, we've got Olympia. Is it Olympia Snow? No, Susan Collins is still alive somehow. They're all in there. I mean, they may as well put a pole up Strong Thurman's backside to make him sit up straight, get him out of the grave. This is awful. And they only serve themselves. They don't serve the people. 80% of the people say, get us out of this Iran bullshit. Nope, go into it anyways. Congress passed the SAVE Act. Nope, they don't want that. 80% of America wants these illegals out. No, let's give them amnesty. We're tired of seeing little girls raped, kidnapped, and murdered. We're tired of seeing men attacked, women attacked, Muslims praying in the fucking street, taking over the cities, people getting arrested for free speech, while others rape, attack, murder, rob, and they get let off because they're crazy or they just don't understand the rules. We are going to have to fight our way out of this. And when I say fight, I mean we're going to have to talk really, really nicely. Period. There's going to be a lot of discussion, a lot of high volume discussion, and it's coming. I hope you are prepared. Now, I never, ever encourage or incite violence, ever. That's not how I roll, folks. But I will tell you what's coming. Yes, I will. I will tell you what's coming. And we get control of this government, folks. We get our constitutional republic back. There'll be some things added to there, like accountability. Accountability. In other words, if you're a politician, you swear an oath to defend and uphold the Constitution, you do anything that even violates that oath, you will be removed from office. And if that violation is criminal, you will be charged. And if it's treason, you will be shot or hung. Shot or hung. Your choice. All right, folks, we got the show started off. Thank you, Big Dan. And I'll tell you what. We've got about 2 hours of this show. It's your guys' show. Super chat button right up there. Lots to talk about. Lots to do. Share the internet address. This is where you guys are really key. It's your show. It's your comments. It's your thoughts. It's your questions. Share the internet address with friends, family, loved ones. Do it by text, email, carrier pigeon. I don't care. Private chat, social media. We are absolutely being blacklisted, shadow banned, censored, silently, whatever you want to call it. In fact, Johnny Kodanger checks in. I want to thank you, Johnny. He says, the only way I'm able to catch you or even find you live is when you put out a notification. You are totally shadow banned. I tried doing the notifications on Sunday, send out a couple notes. Hey, we're going to be live here. We're going to be live there. But yeah, they're hiding us. Frankly, folks, and thank you, Johnny. Frankly, I'm shocked. I am stunned that we haven't been absolutely removed from YouTube altogether. The fact that we still have 2 operating channels, even though they won't monetize one of them, are 80,000 subscribers strong. They won't remonetize that. In fact, the monetized channel that's 5,000 subscribers, they don't pay shit on that. You guys, with your super chats, right button up there, you guys are what makes the channel work. You make it so I don't have to have 3 fucking jobs. 2 is enough, don't you think? I mean, for a guy in his mid-50s, yeah, you would think that 1 job should be enough. Welcome to 2026 and getting fucked by our own government. Unbelievable. Well, let's do this. I got another super chat from Darcy T. And it's a $50 PayPal super chat. PayPal, Venmo, and CashApp are in the video description down below. If you want to comment, you've got to be a subscriber for 5 minutes. And that's just the way the rules are set up. So here we go, Darcy. We're going to pour off one of these. Woo, I tell you. Been drinking the Glenfiddich for so long now that nice little change over the Glenlivet. Anyways, thank you, Darcy T, for supporting the channel with your super chat every week. Come to rely on it, folks. Come to rely on it. Cheers to you. Salute down the hatch. Truly like mother's milk. Thank you. Now, here's the question for tonight's zoo from Darcy. She says, who actually believes the United States military leaders couldn't figure out that they needed to secure the Strait of Hormuz prior to attacking Iran? In my estimation, this was done deliberately to interrupt the global energy supply to further the satanic globalist mafia agenda. Those are some strong arguments in there. Now, I'm going to use one argument that I ran into this weekend to counter your thoughts, Darcy, and follow me on this. Several years ago, the military, the brass, the Pentagon, they conducted a war games drill, and they brought in a retired Marine Corps general to lead the opposition. And so what he did with the war game tools that he had was he conducted everything the way basically Iran is right now. He used fast attack boats, attacked ships, sunk ships, guerrilla tactics, basically everything a guerrilla anti or counter force or an insurgency force would do. And he defeated them in less than a day, the entire American military. It was such an embarrassment. They reset everything and said, this is what you as the enemy, general, have to do. They limited what he could do so that the other guys, all the big current brass, could win. That's not war games. That's not war games. So what that says is they are a bunch of dunderheads that think you can dictate exactly how the enemy has to attack you so that you can have successful wargaming. So are they that stupid, Darcy? Or, as you suggest, are they completely 100% purposefully doing exactly what it takes to lose this? So your question, who actually believes the U.S. military leaders couldn't figure out that they needed to secure the Strait of Hormuz prior to attacking Iran? I believe that they couldn't figure it out, because if they had figured it out, that had been the first thing they should have done to secure the oil trade route. And the other thing is you don't get into a gunfight with rocks and sticks. And if you know it's going to be a gunfight and you're not willing to have a gunfight, then you don't go to the fight. In other words, I don't think the military figured out the Strait of Hormuz, nor did they figure out anything else about Iran. I think they listened completely to intel provided by Mossad, the IDF, Benjamin Netanyahu, and of course, Jared Kushner, his son-in-law. I think that's what they listened to. How could they not think that Iran wasn't going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, that it wasn't going to sink oil ships, that it wasn't going to do all the myriad of things that it's done? They completely underestimated Iran in this. Now, let me go back to the gunfight analogy. Guns equals nukes, folks. If you don't intend to use nuclear weapons, you don't threaten nuclear weapons. Trump has now threatened nuclear weapons not once, but twice. How many times have I said, don't be the parent threatening? Don't be the parent saying, if you do that one more time, wrong, bad. That just teaches the enemy he's not serious. That's what they've learned. Trump backs out. Trump won't do what he says, right? It's weak. It's a picture of weakness. It's bullshitting. It's not negotiations. It's not the art of the deal. It's weak. Making a threat, kind of like threatening Congress. You're going to do this. You're going to do that, or else, or else, or else, or else, or else, and there's nothing else. It's embarrassing. So the military was not ready. I think that's basically self-evident. What do you guys think? Self-evident or not? Good golly. Okay. We're going to have some fun with this. Darcy writes, in my estimation, this was done deliberately to interrupt the global energy supply to further the satanic globalist mafia agenda. Okay, so for the sake of argument, is there a satanic globalist mafia agenda? The answer is yes. It's the World Economic Forum. It is Washington, D.C. It is Tel Aviv and Mossad. It is Brussels, the European Union. It is London and the royal family in the city of London banking cartel. Okay, that would be your satanic globalist mafia agenda. Let's start with the satanic part. Let's see, kidnapping children, grooming children, raping children, hunting children, killing children, sacrificing children, and eating children. That's satanic. Globalist, meaning it's around the entire planet. I named all the countries and places. You bet. Mafia. How are they a mafia? Well, a mafia is a or illegitimate organization that controls people's behavior and taxes them. And when they fuck up, it punishes them. Okay? We have legitimate de jure government in the United States of America. It was created by the U.S. Constitution, this document here. And it says we're to have a president, a Congress, and a Supreme Court. Well, we have judges saying the president can't do what the president can do legitimately. The president starts a war without any authority. It was a quick emergency. We had to defend ourselves, national security. The threat was imminent, they said. And imminent to what? Nothing, right? He violates law. Congress won't do their fucking job. As stated earlier, 80% of the country wants voting fixed, border fixed, illegals fixed, get us out of the war, right? We want our taxes cut. We want America first. They're not giving it to us. So we have a mafia organization, the deep state. The deep state does whatever it wants. It will not prosecute its own people in those 5 groups I talked about that are doing things unspeakable to children. They're just mean. It's not just criminal. It's fucking insane evil. That's not authorized, permitted in the Constitution or in our moral, shall we say, guidelines, aka the New Testament of the Bible. It's not, right? So yes, they're a mafia government, commonly referred to as the deep state, and they do have an agenda. They got an agenda 2025, an agenda 2030, an agenda 2040, an agenda 2050. Their agenda is you'll eat bugs and like it. You'll have and know nothing and like it. You're not going to eat beef because we're going to poison you. You're going to take our vaccines. We're going to poison the fucking air, the water. We're going to go to war. We're going to kill off 90% of the world's population, so there are only 500 million people left total. And they're not going to be white because there's white extermination, white replacement theory. These are all real things. They have an agenda. So yes, there is a satanic globalist mafia agenda, Darcy. And you wrote, in my estimation, this, meaning the war with Iran, was done deliberately to interrupt the global energy supply. We are in the middle of a financial reset. Remember that thing called the Great Reset? Yes, indeed. It was started by none other than Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum. Yeah, Klaus, absolute satanic piece of shit. Told us we'd own nothing and be happy. Well, that's really generous of them, don't you think? Very generous of them. They need to reset the monetary system. Seriously. The United States of America is no longer the global world reserve currency. Just this last week, nations started paying for oil with Chinese yuan. Okay, they got the yuan. Japan has the yen. We have the dollar. Europe has the euro, yada, yada, yada. Russian ruble, right? The Hindu ruble or rupee, sorry. Russian ruble, India rupee. But nations are now using not the dollar, but the yuan to pay for their oil, and then Iran lets that ship through the Strait of Hormuz. The world is running from the dollar. The United States punished Russia, then froze Russia's United States bond account, confiscated $350 billion worth of bonds that Russia was using for international global trade that required the US dollar. The United States has ruined its reputation, starting with Biden all the way into Trump. Everyone who pisses Trump off, he threatens them, he sanctions them, he punishes them. He is the proverbial shitty father to these other countries. And they're like, you know what? We don't want to play your fucking game anymore. And it started way before Trump, trust me. It started way back, well, with Biden and Trump and Obama and Bush. That the anger at the United States for abusing its position and power in the world with the dollar, being able to print all they want. Well, approximately 7-8 years ago, global banks, that would be central banks, major corporate banks, nations, as in the governments themselves, not the banks, but the governments, as well as wealthy families have been buying gold hand over fist. And right now, gold is down $1,000 from its all-time high at $5,600, down $1,000, almost 20% down. Do you think the banks, the countries, the rich people, do you think they stopped buying gold? No, not a fucking bit. They're buying it hand over fist. They're going to run out of gold. Silver is being consumed industrially, and they're going to run out of silver. But what's going on? Why is this important to this comment by Darcy T about the Strait of Hormuz and deliberately interrupting global energy? It's because we're resetting the monetary system. We're not going to use the world, that is, not going to use the US dollar, the U.S. bond, U.S. treasuries anymore. In fact, those are going to come flooding back to this country, being exchanged for items and goods that the U.S. makes. And that's it. Countries are not going to buy our bonds anymore. Who is going to support this government? Not I, said the cat, the dog, the chicken, the horse, the pig, the cow. No one wants to do that, right? There's going to be a little orange hen that's going to have to do it all himself. You don't got the fucking resources. We're in big trouble, in other words. So Darcy says it's being done deliberately to interrupt the global energy supply. That is, in my opinion, Darcy, just part of the overall SHTF problem, reaction, solution, aka Hegelian dialect. The government creates a problem, things get really bad, and then we scream, do something! And then they offer their solution and go, hey, we got your answers right here to a problem that they fucking created over here. Hegelian dialect, problem, reaction, solution. Look it up. So they create a problem. We're fucked. And then they go, well, here's the new world order. Here's the new great reset. There's your great reset. And it's not just currency. It's food, it's water, it's military, it's educational, it's communicational, it's diplomacy, it's trade, it's energy, it's everything is the Great Reset. And this happens, folks, from time to time. It's just we haven't seen anything like this since the 1970s when Richard Milhous Nixon, President of the United States, temporarily took us off the gold standard by closing the gold window. In other words, he wasn't accepting dollars and letting all of our gold go out the door to other countries, namely France. De Gaulle was the smart one, caught on to that pretty quick. But this is really important, folks. The global energy supply, energy is number one. Without energy, we've got nothing else. Energy creates electricity. Energy creates food. Energy creates water. Kind of catching the Maslowian hierarchy here, the Maslowian pyramid. You need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Oh, yes. Electricity, communications, radios, walkie-talkies, CBs, ham radios, right? Shortwave, everything. But you can't do any of that without energy. Otherwise, you're relying on nature to provide you food and water. That's a bit risky when there's 8 billion people on the planet. So, yeah, we have a complete interruption of the global energy supply. It's going to cause massive inflation. It's on its way. It's on its way. Massive inflation. What is that going to do for us, folks? It's going to raise the prices on everything. We're going to have basically a reset of the value of the dollar and what the dollar can buy. Let me tell you what the banks are not only buying gold. Let me tell you what the investment class and the investment banks are doing. They're betting, right? They're buying options that by the end of this year, gold is going to be $15,000 to $20,000 an ounce. Let me say that again. Gold is going to be $15,000 to $20,000 an ounce. It started, I think, 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago. These guys buying, and they haven't stopped. They keep buying this position. Do you think they know something? Let's see, insider trading, United States Congress, that's, well, as Dan pointed out, is a bunch of old fucks that won't go away, that are now insider trading, knowing U.S. foreign policy, domestic policy, tax policy, environmental policy, everything. Congress has been making bank while the rest of us are getting fucked. Well, sometimes 3 fingers and not where you want them. Right? So we're getting ass reamed by these fucking people, and they're doing it intentionally, as you suggest. It is part of their satanic globalist mafia agenda, where they ran into trouble. And I know that the whole world participated in the COVID lie. Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, every country on the planet was scared. They bought the propaganda. They got hooked in. Right? Everyone got hooked in. I got hooked in for 2 weeks. I just sat there looking at the fucking highway. Vroom. Every now and then a truck would go by instead of vroom. Trucks everywhere. It was just, I'm like, what the fuck? I don't see anyone dying. Right? But the whole world bought into it. The fucking lies. Remember the 2 countries that they said were dying the most? Iranians and Italians. Iranians, why would Iranians die unless what they were infected with was designed intentionally to attack their genetic code because they're Persian. They're different. They're not Arabs. Interesting, because we also got news that, well, Israelis, Sephardic and Ashkenazi Jews from Europe who are now living down in, well, Palestine, that whatever was created, the COVID, was designed to not affect them. But then they used Italy. They had a bunch of old people who were very sick. They got sick and they scared the hell out of the world. Right? Anyways, yeah, these other countries have participated in this globalist mafia agenda, either wittingly or unwittingly, knowingly or unknowingly, but they participated. At this stage, though, I don't think Iran is part of the game. I think they're the part that doesn't want to play, and here's my evidence I'll suggest. Who do the bankers, Israel, the United States, European Union, all hate? Any country that does not have a Rothschild central banking system that is tied into the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS, that isn't tied to the City of London, that isn't tied to the US dollar and the Federal Reserve. But it's the Bank of International Settlements, that's at the very top of all central banks, even above the United States of America. Iran doesn't have a bank, and neither does Russia. China, they're doing some stuff, but China is setting itself up to be the next world reserve currency, and they're doing it right now. They're doing it right now using their influence with Iran. And folks, guess how many missiles China has used in this conflict? 0. Guess how many missiles Russia has used in this conflict against, Israel? 0. They've got to sit back, learn, and watch what everyone else is doing and how they're reacting. The Strait of Hormuz has been a bottleneck from the very beginning, right? And here's the deal. If you want to send something through the Panama Canal, you got to pay a massive fee. We're talking $1 million, right? $1 million to use a large commercial ship, oil tanker, whatever, $1 million to get through there. If you want to go through the Suez Canal, $1 million you got to pay to Egypt. You want to go through any restricted waterway, you pay whoever controls that waterway $1 million. Guess what Iran has charged countries and companies for the last 50 years? $0, folks, until now. Oh, wait, they're not really charging anyone. They're just saying you have to buy your oil or your cargo and pay for it in yuan, the currency of China. But they've shut it down, and it is shut down, folks, and there's so much going on. It's unfucking believable, except believe it, it's real. I am now filling up my fuel tank every day. I go out, I do my job, whether I go North Florida, South Florida, East or West, it doesn't matter where I go. I get to the end of the day, I fill up the tank because we could have a fuel shortage declared. That's it. Fuel shortages, fuel rationing. Oh, I've got answers for this, folks. Trust me on this. I am prepared to play this fucking game with these people. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, your plan, electricity, communications. How about travel? The ability to travel in a world where they've restricted our energy and our fuel supplies because the Strait of Hormuz is shut down and we can't get cheap, inexpensive oil out of the Middle East anymore because Trump has caused all of the countries in the Middle East to kick out the United States of America. It's not done yet, but they may. Because the United States today, under President Trump, oh, by the way, this is from Nancy Keg with a $20 super chat. She says, for another great night with John. That's right, it is the zoo. Your choice for tonight, Semper Fi. We're going to talk about what I was just talking about. We're going to talk about what is going on, right? They could absolutely shut us down like that. We're going to find out. We're going to feel it. It is to reset the monetary, reset the global order, reset the military, or everything's getting reset right now. But if Trump, and he promised, Iran, you got 48 hours to open the Strait of Hormuz, or we're going to hit your biggest power plant. You know what Iran did? They didn't back down. They didn't bow down. They didn't say we're sorry. They didn't say we'll open it up. Yes, sir, right away, sir. They didn't say any of that. They have been very deliberate, and they, it would seem, are successfully wargaming this and telling the United States of America, well, you're halfway around the world. We're right next to Bahrain, Kuwait, UAE, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. We're right next to all these countries, and you have military bases on every one of them. You have air bases, naval bases. So those countries are aiding and abetting the United States of America and Israel, who are attacking Iran. So Iran says, you know what? You bomb our energy plant, we will bomb the ever-loving fuck out of all of those other nations and take out their infrastructure, including water desalination. You see, they take seawater and they run it through a process, whether it's reverse osmosis or distillation or combination, I don't fucking know. What I do know is it's very expensive, takes a lot of energy, but that's their only source of fresh water. Well, I shouldn't say only. About 80% of their fresh water or drinking water comes from desalination. If Iran is hit and they strike everyone else's desalination, guess who gets really fucking thirsty really fucking quick? Every one of the United States allies in the region. Not only are they going to say, you know what, U.S., you fucked us. In order to fight for Israel, a bunch of satanic, Talmudic, Zionist pricks. Not only have you been fighting for them and pulling the missile defense system out of our country and giving it to Israel, right? You are using our bases or your bases on our land to attack somebody who is now destroying us, our infrastructure, hurting our people, our economy. Because guess what they can't do? They can't ship their oil through the strait unless it's paid for with Chinese yuan. They can't go anywhere. They're fucked. They're stuck. I need to answer the question about opening the Strait of Hormuz. But we'll get to that in a moment here. If the U.S., I don't know if it's going to be Monday night or Tuesday morning, decides they're going to hit Iran's largest power plants or any power plants, we're going to see this escalate to the next fucking level. We're going to see it escalate to the next level. All right. Oh, I see what we got here. Okay. I see what's going on. So I'll tell you what, Nancy, this is what's going on, right? And it all ties back. This Middle East thing is huge. Don't forget, we still have Ukraine, Russia, NATO, and the European Union wanting World War III up there. We still have that. Don't worry, that is still there. Thank you, Nancy Keg, for that awesome topic. Awesome super chat donation. And now we're going to go to Big Dan the Man with a $5 super chat. Hit it up here. That super chat button up there is how you get on the screen here. I will make you famous. I want to know your thoughts. What concerns you? And Dan says, not real happy with President Trump right now. My 401k and metals are way, way down, and everything else, gas, food, etc., is going up, up, up. This is total bullshit. Now, I expected SHTF. I expected economic problems. I expected a recession/depression. I did not expect it to happen this precise way. Now, I have a little bit of precious metals. Here, there we go. I have a little bit of precious metals, right? I don't have enough to fight a war, right? I have enough to make me happy enough, right? Whatever wealth I have that doesn't go to paying bills, paying for extra expensive food, fucking gas going through the roof. It's as high as it ever was with Biden. But let's just talk about your 401k. Fact. Corporate insiders, that is to say, the corporate big shots at Coca-Cola, the corporate big shots at JP Morgan, the corporate big shots at Ford, the corporate big shots at Nike. Name your company with corporate big shots. They are selling their own stocks into the market. They're selling. What does that do? Well, it does cause prices to drop, doesn't it? Because they're selling, but they're cashing out. They're holding reserve cash, kind of like Berkshire Hathaway aka Warren Buffett. I almost said Jimmy Buffett. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is sitting on, I think, $380 billion in cash/U.S. treasuries. It's short-term U.S. trade. What he's waiting for is a huge stock market correction down. Yeah, we're down right now. Let's see, 10% on the Dow from its all-time high. And there's a lot of worry that tomorrow morning it's going to get even uglier, Dan. There's two things you can do. No, there's several things you can do. Here's some options. If you have a 401k, a Roth IRA, some kind of retirement that you can control, then you can sell your stocks. Sell them right now. If you have a profit, you're going to have to pay your capital gains tax. It's not a great option, right? You can leave them where they're at, ride the roller coaster all the way to the bottom, and then ride it all the way back out the other side in 1 year, 3 year, 5 years. At age 56, I've got another 10 years before I can retire with the government and get what, $1,700 a month? $1,700 a month? Yeah, thanks, government. So you can pull your money out and sit on cash, pay your taxes, wait for the market to crash all the way, buy in cheaper, and then ride it back up, and you'll be in better shape later. The smart money does that. The educated money does that. The flexible money does that. A lot of people, your money is stuck in an investment vehicle that you have no control. It is sent over. You pay a yearly fee. You have no control over what's done with it. You can't just pull it out and have it sit in cash, right? You're screwed. You're getting fucked. And then metals. Metals are down. I said gold is down almost 20%. Silver, from its all-time high at 120, is down 40%. That's huge. Except when this was given to me, it was only $20 an ounce. So the fact that it went up 600% to 120, but it's dropped back down to, where is it at now? 70-ish plus premium, another $15, right? It's still up 4x, 400%. I'm up 400%. That's great. It's not as high as it was, but here's what I've seen when it comes to the precious metals. It happens every fucking time. 2008, this happened. 2001, this happened. 1981, this happened. Everything starts to go up and it takes off and it goes vertical, parabolic. The comics, the banks, the governments all shit their pants. They're like, holy shit. They have to secure and save their currency, their paper currency. So they change margin requirements. They force people to sell. They flood the market with unbacked paper, naked shorts, and they drive the price down to scare everyone out of it that they can, and keep scaring them and keep scaring them. They'll artificially boost the dollar so that money, investment money, goes to the dollar or treasuries and runs away from precious metals as if they're evil. Now, what you've got to know, and I know that you do, Dan, and I appreciate that you bring this up for academic purposes. You know what's going to happen because you look at what is going on with the vaults, the COMEX, CME, the LBMA in London, the Shanghai Exchange, these major vaults, and then there's a lot of minor vaults around the world as well that have tons of gold and tons of silver stacked on fucking pallets in good delivery bars. Whether the price on silver is 120 or 70, every country, every corporation is buying all the silver they can and having it delivered to their vaults every month. Same with gold. Banks, central banks, family offices, and sovereign nations, like Poland, for example, are buying tons of gold every month, whether gold is 5,600 or 4,600 or 5,200, anywhere in between. They're draining the supply, and it's draining faster than they can fill it. See, they'll take out 15, 20 million ounces, and they'll put 2 million back. And they'll take another 15, 20, 30 million ounces, and then they'll put in 5. And they're running out. Because let's just say the silver mines in Peru, Mexico, Canada, the silver mines down in Australia, up in Russia and China, guess what they're doing? They're getting their, whatever they're willing to sell, they're selling directly to manufacturers, industrial manufacturers that make, let's see, weapons, solar panels. The new solid state silver batteries are due to come online. Due to come online in 2027. In less than a year, Samsung is going to have their fucking kick-ass, state-of-the-art, solid state, silver EV batteries go into full production. Even in a recession, a slowed market, there's going to be enough being produced for the rich bastards and the premium vehicles that it's going to take at least somewhere between 10 and 20% of the world silver supply that's already in a deficit. In other words, Dan, currently, metals are down, way down. This happens every fucking time. Every fucking time with gold and silver. They chase people away, so the price goes up, it drops down, they get all the weak hands out, and then it goes up again. Okay, for example, in the 70s, gold went from $40 an ounce to like $250, and that was huge. Everyone thought, yeah, $250, and then went down to $100 an ounce again. Lost over 50% of its value, folks, like that. Scared everyone to death, and they jumped out of gold. Guess what the next move gold made was? Right the fuck back up to 800, and I think we're going to say 850. So basically from $40 to $850, but it had a big drop right in the middle when the banks had to do what they could to scare people out of it so the banks could secure it. So the corporations, the rich people could secure it. We've been going back to this gold system. I've been talking about the Bank for International Settlements, changing gold from a tier 2 asset to a tier 1 asset. The only other tier 1 asset other than the US dollar, which now no one wants because you can't even buy oil with it. You can't buy oil with the dollar. Who the fuck wants that? Tier 2 asset when it was gold is, well, you've got, say, $100 billion worth of gold in your vaults in your country. 100 billion, but you could only use it as collateral 50 billion. It was only collateralized at 50%. So it was very expensive to own, and you can only do half as much with it. Well, now it's a tier 1 asset, meaning you got $100 billion worth of gold. That's $100 billion worth of collateral. It is extremely fungible. It is extremely tradable. It is 100% liquid, and everybody wants it. So if you've got it, hold it, own it, it's yours. It's safe. Anyways, Big Dan, I wanted to go through that topic. I'm glad that you decided to go with that. And now we're going to go to Courageous Cat, who says, Alan Meyer says that you need a belt. And by belt, he doesn't mean a fucking beating. He means a belt or a shot of scotch. And I appreciate the sentiment, Mr. Alan Meyer Jensen, and also Courageous Cat, for putting up the $50 super chat donation. Oops. I think I'm going to go a little more of that 14. There we go. Just delicious. Wow, it's like mother's milk. Anyways, I love the Glenlivet. Love the Glenfiddich. I saw the Glenfarclas and a lot of other scotches, but they were 3-year scotch. I just can't do it. 8-year scotch. What the fuck is that all about? Anyways, Courageous Cat, thank you. Semper Fi to you and Alan Meyer. Oh, you can just taste the peaty goodness. Woo! Oh, thank you, courageous cat. Okay. And yes, here's Alan Meyer's comment. Thanks, Chief. Really appreciate that. All right. Let us continue here. Thank you, Alan Meyer. Let's go with Big Man Viking from the Great White North with a $20 super chat. He says the idea of eliminating the Iranian Republican Revolutionary Guard is to stop the 47-year-old threat of death to America. Sometimes one must cut off a finger in order to save a hand. You see, this is a 100% fact. I do not like Islam. I do not like Zionism, period. They both do not have a great love for Christianity. Now, I understand, and I've seen the pictures, that in Iran, they have a very complimentary fresco. I think it's a fresco artwork of Jesus in the crucifixion. And in Israel, they have Ronald McDonald nailed to a cross, implying that Christ is a clown. There's more reverence for Jesus Christ and the Holy Mother, Mary, in Islam. There's some respect for it. And it really does depend on the sect, the Shia, the Sunni, right? There's a lot of different subsects under Islam. But anytime they are cohabitating, not coexisting, just cohabitating in a Christian nation like England, America, Scotland, Canada, Ireland, Australia, Wales, you get in the picture? France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Germany, Sweden, Finland, Norway, Denmark, Belgium, Austria, Switzerland. Have I made my fucking case? That's when Islam gets out of hand and starts threatening people, praying in the streets, raping little girls, not happy with any of it. So right now, Iran is controlled and has been controlled for 47 years since they threw out the Shah of Iran, right? And then they got the revolutionary Muslim Guard, right? And they got they started getting their Ayatollah Khomeinis and Khomeinis and Shmomeinis, all these guys. And the chant was death to America. Now, when the Muslims took control in the late 70s, they took control of Iran. They took it away from the Shah. The Shah was a plant. He was a puppet to the United States of America and Israel. He was a puppet there. Okay. He got put in by the CIA in, I think, 1953. They overthrew the Persian government and put in the Shah of Iran. And then the Muslims took over, took 444 hostages. No. They took American hostages in the embassy and held them for 444 days. Hello, McFly, right? Anyways, Reagan was elected. He says the bombing starts in 15 minutes. Before he was even inaugurated, Reagan had secured from the crazy wackadoo fucking Muslim Ayatollah and company the release of all the American hostages. So they had some respect at that time for the United States of America. They did. They had some respect. It is oak pollen season down here in Florida. Now, what did we start hearing after that, though? Right? We had Iran wanted to fight Israel. They started Hezbollah and pushing their brand of terrorism throughout the Middle East to push back against the Zionist brand of terrorism in the Middle East. United States government, United States media, international media were playing into this. Oh, the Israelis aren't bad, and these other guys, they're the bad terrorists. Folks, they've all been fucking terrorists. whether it's the Islam or whether it's the Israelis. They're fucking terrorists and they kill each other and they love killing each other. They hate everybody, and basically they hate Christians and white nations as well. By white nations, I mean Europe, North America, Australia. Now, 47-year-old threat of death to America, right? Now, cutting off a finger in order to save a hand. I really like this, Mr. Viking. Dare I say boomer. We're going to get back to the finger in the hand in a moment. Death to America. That pissed me off when I heard that chant as a kid. Scared me to death. I've already got the fucking Russian nuclear war bullshit to fucking put up with. The Soviet communist crap growing up through the 70s and fucking 80s. I got to put up with that shit. And then I got to put up with death to America from these fucking Muslims that are attacking and killing Marines in Beirut. Yeah, I got a real problem with these fucking people. But you know what they haven't done? As big a bunch of assholes as they are, they have not attacked the United States. They haven't attacked us here in America, in our coastal regions, West Coast, East Coast, Gulf Coast, the interior. They haven't attacked us, folks. They haven't cyber attacked us. They haven't poisoned us. They haven't poisoned our water, our food supply, our air like our own government is, like our own corporations, like our own CDC. Iran is a much smaller finger, my friends, than all the other fingers. And they finally came out and expressed directly and literally what I have said and said I hoped. And this idea, this concept was supported by none other than Russia's president, Putin. When I said, and this is years ago, I said, I really fucking hope that Putin sees the problems with America, not as America, the country, but right over here on the East Coast is this little fucking shithole called Washington, D.C., a.k.a. sewer, swamp, shithole, deep state, whatever. Putin said, the problem isn't Americans. Americans are good people. The problem is Washington, D.C. And as of late, Iran has said the very same thing or something so similar, they could be exchanged. Iran has said, we chant death to America. And by death to America, they mean death to the American regime in Washington, D.C. Attacking the people of the United States is probably the stupidest fucking thing you could ever do. I mean, literally, short of nuclear war, you couldn't do anything fucking stupider than to attack America, piss us off, and we'll all get in our own fucking boats and either power our way or sail our way to wherever the fuck you are and fucking kill you with our bare hands. That is America. They don't want that. They want Washington to knock the shit off. They don't want to wake the sleeping fucking giant. The bear. Don't poke the bear. Don't piss on the dog's head, right? Don't fuck with the part that's the real muscle. The real muscle in America isn't DC, folks. The real muscle in America is all of us. And the world has never wanted to fuck with that. The Japanese were like, we are not invading mainland. Behind every blade of grass is an American with a fucking rifle. And that was in the 1940s. We're now 85 years in the future, and we have 100 times the fucking guns and 1,000 times the ammo and about 100 times the frustration level. So let's get back to cutting off a finger in order to save the hand. Great way to talk about it. This is my interpretation or my take on it, Viking. And I know we all want to love our governments. We all want to believe our leadership loves us and the country. But what are we seeing? They're doing everything in their fucking power to ruin our country, ruin our system, ruin our culture, our traditions, our laws, everything. So I have zero faith in Washington, in Quebec, in London, in Brussels. Nowhere do I have any faith in these fucking people. They're down in Australia. They're absolutely just as retarded as we are in America here, if not worse. Anyways, what on the hand is the finger that is costing us the most, causing the most trouble, and providing the least amount of benefit? Is it Saudi Arabia or Kuwait, Qatar, United Arab Emirates? Is it Iraq or Iran? Are they causing all the trouble? Or is that section of the world producing a ton of oil, making the rest of our lives better by providing us cheap, reliable, sustainable oil, which is transportation, medicine, chemicals, plastics, all the things we need in industry, everything, right? Second most useful product in the world. Oh, there it is again, silver, right? But that's what they're doing, right? So do we want to get rid of those fingers? Europe is a valuable trading partner. They buy some of our stuff. We buy some of their stuff. We all get along. Well, not so much anymore. But who is the finger that causes all the fighting, all the pissing, all the moaning, all the bullshit? Israel. You want to talk about getting rid of the finger that saves the rest of the hand, arm, and whole body? Get rid of Israel. Dethrone, depower Israel. And our problems just go away. Think about this. Let me put this to you. If the nation of Israel had their nuclear weapons taken from them, they are no longer a nuclear threat to Europe, the United States, Russia, the Middle East, including Iran, or anyone else. They've had supposedly nuclear weapons since the 60s. The reason we don't know is they do not allow the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, to go in and inspect their facility at Dimona, which, by the way, has been hit a few times now by Iran, and they've been saying, you fuck with us, we're going to send our big missile over there, and you can't stop them. They have some big boys that they're just now threatening to launch. So if you take away Israel's ability to use nukes, that's a big problem. The United States of America, Europe, if they stop selling weapons, armament, supplies to Israel for the manufacturing of tanks and bombs and missiles and rockets, we stop selling them helicopters and jets, then they can't attack anyone else. They can't. Now, let's just say this. Well, if you do that, John, they won't be able to defend themselves. Against who? You know, if the United States wants to be the big brother instead of the big fucking retard Lenny, okay, whatever you say, George, I'll pet him and rub his little head, and I just want to love this little mouse, right? That's what the U.S. is to Israel. We're this big muscle-bound fucking country with no fucking brains that does everything they're told by little Israel. Okay, look, Israel, you don't get any more ships, any more tanks, any more jets, any more helicopters, any more missiles, no missile systems. You want stuff? You build it your fucking self. Now, if another country attacks you, we'll defend you. If you attack someone and they attack you back, you're on your fucking own, right? We're not here to be your muscle and your bitch. But here's the question when it comes to the finger, the one that needs to be cut off to save the hand. Viking, and again, great way to phrase this. What does Israel provide for the rest of the world? Does it provide oil? What does it provide? Well, it's showing us that you can put explosives in phones and pagers and fucking kill people. Their industry is death. Palantir and other artificial intelligence that's hooking into everything they can so they can scan us and track us and fuck us over. They can steal your money. They can close your bank accounts. That's not productive technology. That's war technology. Well, guess what? We have the Syrian Electronic Army, which I think is still a laughable fucking joke. You also have the Iranian computer intelligence network, and they're pretty fucking good. They brought down United States armaments, drones. They've intercepted them, hacked them, taken over, and landed them. The Iranians know their shit. Have they attacked the U.S. with cyber attacks and shut down our banking? No. They could, but they haven't. They might be able to, but they haven't. Israel has threatened that that's exactly what they're going to fucking do. If we don't kiss their ass and give them what they want, they need to be disconnected from the internet, from the rest of the world. Cut that finger off and say, hey, you play nice, we'll play nice. You produce useful items, useful technology, useful materials, you're in good shape. You can be everyone's friends, but you don't get to have nuclear weapons. You don't get to have a military and try this greater Israel project, take over the entire Middle East, control the flow of oil, which they want to do. They want to control the Persian Gulf, the Suez Canal. They want to control the Dead Sea, the Black Sea, the Red Sea, every sea. They want to control that whole area. It's oil production. They want to pipe it. They want to they want all that control. Why? Control is power. Power is control. Money, power, control. Israel wants to be that superpower. Now, is Bibi Netanyahu dead? Big question, right? The real Bibi hasn't been seen in 18 days now. He keeps canceling his appearances, his personal appearances, and they keep releasing for the Dimona strike. They released a new video with Netanyahu there and people standing around behind him, except it was from several years ago, and they AI'd it to use the same people and same background, same lighting, same level of destruction. Whoops, caught again. I don't believe he's alive. I don't believe that other jackass Ben Gavir is alive either. Pieces of shit. See, they're not producing anything except war, hatred, division, and murder. Oh, and genocide. Cut off Israel, folks. And yeah, you're missing a finger, but it's a finger that doesn't matter. The pinky finger does very little. Even shooting with a pistol, your pinky is just another stabilizing factor, but you don't need it for working the slide, working the safety on a 1911, pulling the hammer back on, say, a double action revolver. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't work the bolt release. Nothing. The pinky does nothing. It's cute. It's pretty. Helps us get to the number 10. But it, save the hand, save the arm, save the whole body, my friend. Great topic, Viking. Thank you, sir. Really, literally great topic. And then we're going to move on to chin music. And here we go. And a $4.99 super chat donation. Thank you, Chin. Always, man, always. He says, today, ICE, that's Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, is now helping the Transportation Safety Administration, the TSA, at the Atlanta airport. So much winning. This is quickly becoming a dumpster fire. Trump promised us there'd be so many good things happening. We'd be winning so much. It would blow our minds. I was waiting for my bank account to be so full that I would have to open the account and start shoveling money out of the safe. Not happening. But now we have this problem with the Transportation Safety Administration, which was moved under the Department of Homeland Security for the purposes of fuck America. And now the government in Washington, D.C., they're all blaming each other for not having a budget, an operating budget, so they can pay TSA to do their fucking jobs. So airports are short TSA. All they are, they're a bunch of fucking fruitcakes. Now, I'm sure there's some nice people, but I've run into homosexuals, racists, and when I say racist, I mean racist. I'm a nice fucking guy. I go to an airport, I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt or a Marine Corps shirt, and I'm very friendly to everybody, but they fucking shit all over you. They treat you like shit. Hell, I've seen black TSA attack fucking black passengers and treat them like shit. They treat everyone like shit. They fucking suck. And then you bring ICE in? How was that winning? They're trained, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, not get on the airplane in a orderly fashion. We're in big fucking trouble. Shouldn't ICE be out looking for illegal aliens that are, kidnapping, raping, drugging, murdering, and enslaving women and children? Aren't they selling fucking drugs, murder for fucking hire, home invasions, grand theft auto? That's what they're doing here. ICE should be taking care of that, not shuffling people into a fucking airport and saying, okay, you don't have any bombs on you, get on the plane. Don't have any bombs on you, get on the plane. It is a fucking dumpster fire. That is an understatement. Anyways, thank you, Chin Music. All right, let us continue. Let's go with not Bram Stoker, but Broke Stacker. And he's got a $4.99 super chat. And he says, why is the administration, meaning the Trump administration, not talking about us paying more because Diaper Joe neutered our oil industry? And what happened to Drill Baby Drill? All right, Broke Stacker, I know why you're broke, because you keep buying this stuff to protect yourself. Good job. Now, with respect to why is the administration not talking about us paying more because Joe Diaper neutered our oil. Remember those signs that we had for the gas pump? It was Biden pointing, and it said, I did this, right? And it points to the price on your gas pump. People were sticking those everywhere. Yeah, Trump is doing that. You see, the problem, here's the problem, and you're going to love this, Broke Stacker. I had this thought. I'm like, wait a minute. In Texas, in the southwest of the United States, we have all the fucking energy we need as a country for like 250 years at current growth projections. Huge reserves of oil. The government of the United States doesn't want to use that unless we have to. So let's make the rest of the world sell us their oil first. That's been the program since the 1970s when we came off the gold standard and closed the gold window. The idea was, let's drain OPEC, the oil producing exporting countries. OPEC, that would be the Middle East, Niger, Russia, now included in all that. Now, what happened to Drill Baby Drill? They drilled like a motherfucker. They're drilling everywhere and everything they can. That is going on. It's not enough. Let me explain what happens here. Oil companies drilling in America, drilling in Alaska, drilling offshore, drilling up north, fracking drilling, any type of drilling, getting natural gas, compressing it, into CNG, compressed natural gas, so it's liquefied. It's like propane at that point. Also, propane comes from oil refining. All of this energy that is produced in the United States of America, it doesn't get sold in America. Most Americans don't understand this. Our oil does not get sold in America. Our oil is exported. Why? Why don't we burn our own fucking oil? Well, because you can sell it for more money to other nations. You can sell American oil at not Brent crude, but West Texas crude, right? You can sell that to Japan or China or Australia. You can sell our oil, our compressed natural gas, our propane, whatever we've got for energy, we can sell that to England, Scandinavia, mainland. We can sell that into South America. We sell it everywhere at a higher price. Where America has the advantage, and what we do is we buy cheap oil from Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain. We don't get oil. Well, we were getting oil from Niger, but we had the junta. It took over. They kicked out the French. They kicked out America and said, fuck you, get the fuck out of our country. Now, the problem with the junta is they now need to go stop the rest of Nigerian thieves from stealing their own oil. That's their fucking problem. But that's the deal, Broke Stacker, is they can drill, baby, drill. That doesn't help me and you. That helps the oil companies. Chevron, Arco, Phillips, Conoco, right? Name your fucking domestic oil producing company, ExxonMobil. They get the money. They sell it for money, and of course they pay a tariff to the US government. So, see, the US government gets money because it's exported. They get a tariff. The oil that comes to America pays an import tariff, goes to the United States government. They make money on the oil leaving and the oil coming. You and I, we just want to go to the fucking pump and pump it into our car, truck, motorcycle, boat, whatever the fuck, right? That's what's going on. That's why prices are going up, even though we've been drilling and we've got all the fucking oil we can handle. Now, let's take a look at Venezuela. Also has one of the world's largest oil reserves, but it's offshore. It's very deep, and it's shit for crude. It is not sweet. It is not light. It is heavy, chunky, fucked up, shitty oil, but a lot of it. The United States took over Venezuela in one of the quickest coup d'etats ever. And those American oil companies are now producing oil, fixing all the fucked up shit in Venezuela. But do you think that's going to help me and you? Let's hope. But it was done in our name with our government by President Trump. Pissed off the whole fucking world. One more reason that everyone wants to get away from the treasuries, the bonds, the dollars, and they want to go to something else that's safe. Gold, the yuan, anything other than the dollar so they don't get punished. Now, here's the deal, folks. Cuba right now, by the way, is blacked out because of a U.S. oil embargo on Cuba. Okay, great. Cuba's not the communist threat it once was. But as soon as they cut off the oil, they're running out of energy. They're running out of electricity. So babies and people in hospitals are dying because they don't have power to keep them alive. Food is going bad that's perishable because they don't have electricity for refrigeration. And Cuba was told by the United States government, we're taking control of you. And I don't think they're really happy about that. But Russia has oil on its way right now, and Cuba is now refusing United States oil. They're like, you know what? Fuck you, U.S., because of what you did to us just now. We're going to wait on the Russian oil. We're going to fire our country back up, and you can go fuck yourself. The United States is now making more enemies, sadly. By United States, I mean the United States corporation up in Washington, D.C., not the rest of our country, our nation. You know where the hatred is focused, folks. On the fucking swamp. On the World Economic Forum. In Brussels. In London. The world has had it with all this bullshit. They don't hate the British. They don't hate Europe. They don't hate America. They don't hate Canada. They don't hate Australia. Well, at least the major players. They know where the problems are. Now, the on-the-ground, in-your-face invaders that are in our country, they hate us, and they're doing everything they can on the local level to hate us. That would be your Muslims. That would be your Zionists out there starting fights and pissing matches on the fucking streets and in local politics. Oh, yeah, folks, we've got our hands full. Anyways, Broke Stacker, great topic. Literally, great topic. This is how the game is played. They're making money coming and going. Fuck us. And their actions are not making anything any better. Once again, we've got RM125 Hooligan checking in. I hope you're doing well, feeling well, recovering, and getting more healthy by the minute. RM125. That would be a Suzuki. Used to be a two-stroke. I hope you got an old two-stroker, man. The picture kind of looks like it, but I don't know anymore. Anyways, $50 super chat donation buys me a scotch. My friend, thank you. And I'm really enjoying this Glenlivet. Not that I didn't enjoy the Glenfiddich, but I like a good Glenlivet, my friends. Anyways, $50 super chat. RM Hooligan, I hope you're well. Down the hatch. Simplify. It's like mother's milk. So good. Folks, we're at 379 people live right now. Be sure and thumbs up the video. It helps fuck up YouTube, and it makes their computers promote our channel whether they like it or not. So the more thumbs up we get, the better this works in the end. We need people to wake up and see that internet address in a text, an email, a message, a signal chat, a fucking Instagram, an X post. It doesn't matter. Facebook, Meta, it doesn't matter. Spread the word, share the internet address to get people here to learn what's really fucking going on and why they need to have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and a means of self-defense. So Hooligan says, won $1,000 last Friday at a casino, so I bought a Glock 43 in Coyote Brown. Woo! That scotch feels good. Says, you look thirsty, big guy. Have one on me and cheers. Thank you, RM125 Hooligan. I'm glad you did well at the casino. And just mentioning casinos, you know, they have all those pretty lights and decorations and really tacky carpet and everything because the house always wins. But occasionally they throw some money out there back. It's entertainment. It's an escape. It's a way to get a break. Kind of like we had Chin Music. He's like, I fucking had enough. Right? I need a break from this shit. But they won't give us a fucking break. Will they? It's oil. It's weapons. It's attacks. It's threats. It's our kids. It's the fruitcakes and the faggots. It's the guns. They're coming after our guns. It's free speech. It's our military. It's our economy. It's everything, right? They won't let us escape. They've got us in a cage and they just keep shaking the shit out of it. So we need a break. Go to the casino. Take a break. Fine. Right? And so I get it. Some people want to watch football, but that's more shit. In fact, Crown Royal, which I don't own any Crown Royal in my bunker liquor cabinet. They've got a commercial out there. It's got 3 homosexuals serving Crown Royal and then passing the glass to an obvious in-your-face fucking transgender who smiles at the fucking camera. Don't buy another anything of Crown Royal. They just went the way of Bud Light. They just went the way of Faguar. They just went the way of all these dumb woke fucking companies like Disney losing billions of dollars. Crown Royal just fucked themselves. Good. Don't watch football. Anyways, the point is find a way to relax. Find a way to get away. I have been directed for this coming week to go out of this country. And it's rather scary considering all the transportation problems we're having, from the fucking TSA to fuel to military actions. But I have been directed that I need to leave the United States of America and travel a short distance and do some stuff. That's all I can say. I will be back next Sunday. I just got confirmation here that, yes, I am leaving tomorrow. I am leaving. I'm going basically pretty close to the RMZ, and will be, it's a private contract. In any event, I'm going to have a fucking break. I'm going to be off the grid, folks. I'm going to be out in the fucking jungle. I don't know. I will not know what's going on. For one fucking week, I will be unplugged. I'll tell you what, as fucked up and tired as we are, as pissed off, confused, shaken, and not stirred as we are, it'll be harder for me to be unplugged for a few days. I leave tomorrow. I'll be back Friday. If I get back early enough on Friday, if I get back at all. I'll probably do Friday night free-for-all. But that said, find a way to relax. So hooligan buys a Glock. Go out and shoot. Folks, shooting is very relaxing. It's also confidence building. It's inspiring. And it lets you know that you can take care of yourself in the event of a Mad Max meltdown in your city, town, rural area. Shooting is good. Get prepared, folks. Do what you can. Thank you, RM125 Hooligan. Folks, it's Sunday Night Live. It's your show. Super chat buttons right up there. And we've got Venmo, CashApp, PayPal down below. It is your show. What do you want to talk about? We're 90 minutes in. Typically, I go 2 hours, 120 minutes. So we've got about a half an hour left. I've got a shit pile of things to talk about, but it's your show when it's Sunday night, and I want to know what you're thinking about. This is one I caught very early on, and I want to bring it back up. This is Marco. He says, thumb number 1 or 2, John. 2 more weeks of the Israeli dictatorship of the whole fucking world, and the USA will be bankrupt, no doubt. I'm military. Mind your thoughts. Have a great day, John. I appreciate that. Israeli dictatorship. This goes back to the get rid of a bad finger, save the whole hand. And I was like, save the whole arm and body, right? The pinky, the Israel dictatorship. It is small, it is tiny, and it exerts an awful lot of control because it is infected with Satanism. It is infected with Baal, Moloch, child sacrifice, fucking evil, murder, genocidal fuckheads. That's Israel. And it's infected, and you cannot cure that. And so that infection is running from the pinky to the whole hand, to the arm, to the whole body. If we did not have Israel causing the trouble, we would have definitely someone else fucking things up and being a problem. But would they be a nuclear power? Would they be a regional fucking nuisance? Or would they be more of a local nuisance like the Houthis, right? The Yemenis, or maybe like the Nigerians. Well, they're a problem in Niger, but nowhere else. Or South Africa, where they're just punishing themselves. Well, Israel is flattened Gaza. It's pushed Palestine. They have what they call settlers. They're not fucking settlers. Right? This whole idea that America was colonized, so therefore it's wrong. The people of Israel are European Jews. They're not Israelites. They're not Hebrews. They're Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews. In other words, they come from a line of people who adopted Judaism as their belief system. And they've been around for a long time. Almost, well, they're not as old as Christianity, folks. No. No, they're not. They came after Christianity. Same attitude. So we're superior, God's children, whatever. Anyways, these fucking people. If we didn't have the Israeli dictatorship telling the whole world what to do, but they think because they've got money, because they figured out how to control governments, that they can blackmail people. They can use all this this Epstein pedophilia to control everyone, that makes them superior. To the contrary, all it does is demonstrate, show, and prove for all fucking time that they're nothing but a bunch of evil fucking parasites who want to infect the whole world with their attitude, have the world fight their fights for them. I mean, literally, we're sending American troops. We're sending the 82nd. We're sending Marine Expeditionary Forces to the Middle East. They're saying that the Marines are going to fucking land on Karg, that little island off the coast of Iran, and take control of it. And Lindsey, light in the loafers, take it up the poop shoot Graham, senator, said, well, we took Iwo Jima. We can handle Karg. Folks, do you know how many people died? Do you know how many Marines died on Iwo Jima? Thousands and thousands to take one fucking island died, were injured, became casualties. Horrendous number of people died Is that that's what we're all about, Lindsay? Fucking fruitcake ladybug Lindsay. This is what we got, folks. We're going to be bankrupted. The United States, well, I tell you what, Mark, we're already bankrupt. $40 trillion in the hole. Not to mention unfunded liabilities, military pensions, government pensions, public employee pension systems, Medicare, Social Security, over $100 trillion owed to the American people that the government doesn't even have. In other words, they spent that fucking money that they took from us. They've already spent it, plus an additional $40 trillion. We're already bankrupt. And every day is cost. I think it's $1 billion a day we're spending. Some people say $2 billion. Just make it a nice round $1 billion a day to fight this fight. But what's worse than that, as if there could be something worse than spending $1 billion a day, having our young fighting men going to a section of the world that is not happy with us to fight on behalf of Israel, who will not send their own fucking soldiers out. In fact, their soldiers have been filmed time and time again, crying, sobbing, sniveling, whining, literally crying and bitching like little babies when they're getting bombed and shot at by another military force or missiles incoming. They are a bunch of fucking screaming cowards who like to shoot women and little girls and infants. They're fucking cowards, the IDF. Why do you think they want a drone army? Flying drones, land drones, maritime drones, so they can have some little fucking coward working the fucking knobs and controls somewhere else and killing people so they don't have to risk their precious chosen lives. I get fucking pissed, folks, because they're using our money, they're using our technology, they're using our reputation, they're using our men, fighting men on the front lines to sacrifice them. And these people, these sick fucking satanic fucks, love to sacrifice Christian lives to accomplish their evil ends. That gives them a giant micro boner. The whole fucking world and the United States is going to be bankrupt. Yep. Indeed. I tell you, folks. All right. It's been a great show. We got more time. You guys, super chat button right up there. I want to hear what you have to say. I've got a lot to talk about, folks. I really do. What do we want to talk about? While I'm waiting for super chats, I have things that I think are pretty fucking important. Let's see here. Well, that was an interesting one. Freedom Eagle 666 writes, it's no longer about doing war. It's about the survival of humanity. If the Strait can be free, it's game over for the world. The Strait means Strait of Hormuz. Now, it's no longer about war. It's about survival of humanity. Yes, I agree it is about the survival of humanity because they've told us they want only 500 million people, which means 7,500,000,000 people need to die. Whoops. But moreover, who do they want to kill first and foremost? Who are they trying to replace? Who are they trying to breed out? Who are they trying to destroy? Let me tell you who. Europeans, Canadians, Americans, Australians, New Zealanders, sure. The white Western Christian mind is what they want obliterated. They're doing it with drugs. They're doing it with homosexuality. They're doing it with the Jim Jones juice, which causes microclots and destruction of cranial tissue, brains. They're rotting your fucking brains. They're rotting your fucking brains. If you take that shit and you have not detoxed, do it. Detox yourself. That's what they're doing. They need to kill us. Now, Why would they kill Europe and America and Canada and Australia and New Zealand and Europe? Why would they kill us when they need us? They don't need us anymore. Why don't they need us? Well, if they can get rid of the controlling government and own it, and own the controlling government of Canada and America and Australia and Europe, and get rid of all of the white people, the literal white-looking people, get rid of us. You see, they already have all the information. Every encyclopedia, every movie, every song, every poem, every science, every mathematic equation, every weapon. Very important, the whole weapon system. Everything is now understood. Cold fusion, it's there. Nuclear power, it's there. Solar power, they got all the answers to it. Where's the gold? Where's the silver? Where's the lead? Where's the copper? Where's the zinc? Where's the tin? Where's the nickel? Where's the cobalt? Where's the uranium? They know where everything is on the planet now. They don't need us anymore. They now have robot armies. Robot armies. They have robot armies. Courageous Cat is correct. They have technology that is recorded all this information so they can have it anytime they want. They do not need us, and we are a threat to them. That's right, folks. Europe, America, Canada, Australia, the Great Britain, right? We are a threat to them. We are a threat to them. Period. So Israel needs to destroy us. The World Economic Forum needs to destroy us. That's it. They need to destroy us, and then they can own everything. They'll have a bunch of retarded fucking low IQ morons they brought out of either Africa or the Middle East, and they don't need us. They have all the information and artificial intelligence that we are paying with our money to develop. They are using to create their drone armies, their drone navy, their drone air force, and to figure out other mathematical problems, other scientific problems, other medical problems they want, and they have artificial intelligence to do it for them. All information is now stored in hard drives. Well, unless Iran blows that shit up, and that could happen. RM125 answers in the affirmative. John, yes, it's a 1998 125cc two-stroke Suzuki, and four strokes suck. Look, I was into thumpers, man. I used to do fucking, as a kid, a friend of mine had an RM125, and that thing, it hit on the top so hard it'd rip your arms out, man. Ring, 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 ring. Fun. But I was into cross country, bark busting through the Sierra Nevadas, literally going down cow trails, logging roads, four-stroke thumping the whole way. I had a 200 XR200R. There we go. But, you know, a friend of mine had a Suzuki SP370. We just, you know, back in the 80s, just, it's great. It's good stuff. But it's amazing. You've got an 88, a 98, and it's still running good. Awesome. Four strokes. I don't even fucking look at the dirt bikes anymore. I'm too fucking old. Let's get into it, though, with Big Dan, the man. He's back with a $10 super chat. And he says, yes, yep, these dipsticks in government, free healthcare for the rest of their lives, even in retirement. They make enough money. They should pay for it themselves like we are forced to pay every single month. You know what's disgusting, Dan? In extreme Northern California, where I lived before I went to the RMZ and then to Florida, where I lived, at a small utility district that got power from Pacific Gas and Electric, PG&E. It got routed up to them, and then they distributed it throughout the utility district. And this is when I got involved in politics, because there was a megalomaniac running the local utility district. His nickname was King K. He thought he was a fucking king. He acted like it. He's going to fire everyone and kick their ass and steal their fucking property with eminent domain. Fuck that guy. I went after him. Now, here's the deal. The board that governed this small local utility district, you know what they did? At the local level, they promised themselves, you stay a member of this board for one term, which was 2 years, just like Congress, just like our House of Representatives, 2 years, you have lifetime health care for you and your family. Your kids grow up, they lose it, but your wife and you, or your husband and you, whoever, right? So local fucking utility district expecting locals to pay their fucking health insurance the rest of their fucking lives. And every couple of years, they have an election, they get new members on, and they get it. Everyone gets it. Everyone gets it, except the workers, the you and me's, the people paying the fucking bills. So yeah, you go, that's the local. I imagine the state's the same. Then you get up to the federal government, they don't give a fuck. It is a gravy train of fucking everyone else, and they love it. They should not be allowed to get thrift insurance, which is the best insurance in the country, for free. We can't get it. We get fucking Obama fucking care, or you go out on your own and try and find it. Folks, I had surgery. It was cheaper for me to pay for my surgery out of pocket than to try and use my fucking health insurance. I have my health insurance now for catastrophic coverage. I have to pay hundreds of dollars a month through my company. Hundreds of dollars a month through my company in case I have a fucking heart attack and it costs me $100,000. It's fucking ridiculous. But they get it the rest of their lives. While they're in Congress, they get inside information. They can trade inside on that. They can control their own wealth. They go from having $150,000 a year jobs, which they shouldn't get paid that much. In fact, I don't think they should get paid anything. I don't think they should get paid any more than the average middle income, which is not shit, right? That way they don't stay there their whole lives fucking us all over. But here we are. Yeah, remember Martha Stewart? She did some insider trading. Off to jail you go, bitch. And she's a bitch. But all these bitches in Congress, free health care. Free everything. They even get armed protection. Because, you know, their lives are scary. Quit fucking us over and they won't be. Big Dan, I'm telling you, they should have to pay for everything. Being an elected representative should not be a fucking career. And once again, I think they should be held accountable. You lie, you're kicked out of your job. You break your oath, you're kicked out of your job. You commit a crime, your penalty as a government employee, whether you're elected, appointed, or subcontracted, should be 5 times what a private citizen is. Because as a lawyer, a politician, a bureaucrat, a fucking judge, or a government subcontractor, you better know your fucking job. You should know the rules, and if you fuck up, you should go to jail forever. But we don't have that kind of country, do we? Oh, no, we don't have that kind of country. Thank you, Big Dan, the man. You are the man. We've got just over 10 minutes left, and we got Viking back again. Woo! Here we go, man. This is going to be a good one. He says, let's not forget that Hamas, folks, terrorists, Muslim terrorists, Hamas, inside Gaza, they had a tendency to hide everything under schools and hospitals and use their own people as human shields. I agree with you 100%, man. 100%. They did that. By doing so, many consider the IDF to be savages. Well, I mean, yeah, you bet. The Israeli Defense Force, in order to kill Hamas, had no problem blowing up the schools and then saying, hey, they were using human shields, schools, hospitals. You bet they did. You bet Hamas did that. Do you kill people as collateral damage to get to your fucking enemy? Okay, well, we got people controlling our government through the Epstein files, right? This is great. It's a great topic. Epstein files means killing children, eating children, raping children, fucking children over, drugs, blackmail, extortion, corruption, theft, insider trading, money laundering, all of these fucking things that the government does that's being controlled by all these other governments. Should we, the United States of America, say collateral damage is fine? Everyone in charge in Iran, you have to leave the government or we're going to nuke the whole fucking country and turn you into a pool of molten glass. Stop hiding behind all your people or we'll kill them all. Same with Palestine. We'll fucking level you flat and kill everyone if Hamas doesn't come out. And then how about this? Israel. Guess what Israel does? They're doing the same motherfucking thing as Hamas. They hide their government buildings right out in the wide open, but surrounded by what? Schools, hospitals, civilians. Apparently, they're accusing Iran of doing the same thing. Right? When they bombed that school over there in Iran, killed what, 160 girls? Well, they thought that was okay because those are the daughters of the powerful people. Killing children is not good. Then they said, well, wait a minute. Iran is hiding their leadership. They're bad guys. They're all terrorists inside the general population, using them as human shields. So let's not forget that, well, everyone does it, right? You go to a United States military base. You've got the Air Force, the Marine Corps, you've got naval bases, you've got Army bases. If you're married and you have kids, you got family right there on the base. Are we using our families as human shields? So if someone nuked one of our bases, they're going to kill all the family. And outside every base, every air station, every port, there is infrastructure that has been built up to support those military bases. Right? Fuel, food, electricity, water, right? Everything that's needed to sustain life is built up around our bases. So if they start bombing our bases, are we, America, using our military families as human shields and civilian population around us as human shield? Not to mention on military bases alone, there are civilian enterprises that work hand in hand in glove, whatever you want to call it, right, to supply materials, components, etc. Subcontractors, civilians working on military bases. Is it okay to kill them? See, that's where we draw the line. No, it's not. In my opinion, okay, Hamas, if they're in tunnels underneath Gaza, and I believe they are, I believe they were, the same way Israel and Hezbollah and every other country has deep underground bases. Fuck, dumbs. The United States government has deep underground military bases everywhere. Dumbs. Where they do testing, research, development, cooperation with alien species, right? Whatever. We have them. If you want to go after them, how did America go and fight in Afghanistan, in Iraq, city to city? Were we allowed to fucking level entire cities? No. You had to go and clear a building, room by room, building by building, block by block, and remove potential terrorists. We did not just have the fucking Marine Corps and the fucking Army and the mechanized fucking infantry just roll through with tanks and just flatten every fucking building and just wipe everything out from one end to the other. Now, that's the old way to fight a war, is just to bomb everything into fucking oblivion. Except it does not allow the country that you're liberating to live very well if you've destroyed water, power, food, housing, roads, bridges, tunnels, everything. You're fucked, right? So we don't do that anymore in warfare unless you're Israel and you want to flatten and get to Hamas, who is using schools and hospitals and the civilian population as shields. Somewhere you got to draw the line. Israel right now is screaming, war crimes. There's war crime violations. We're getting hit with cluster bombs, and it ain't right. United Nations, do something about this. Well, they told the United Nations to fuck off, literally, just last week. Israel did. Go fuck yourself. Pound sand. We don't care. Just a couple of weeks ago, the Israeli dude went to the United Nations and shredded with a little like hand paper shredder. Kind of cute in a way. The United Nations Charter. They just shredded it. They don't give a fuck. Now this week they're crying for it. Look, I don't care if I don't give a fuck who anyone is. You cannot be hypocritical about this if you're being honest with yourself. I don't like Muslims. I don't like the Zionists because they have all promised to want to kill me. And they have plans that they put into action plans to do just that. Kill me, kill you, kill our families. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, brown, Indian. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter, because if you're intelligent and you're part of Western civilization, they want to replace us and kill us. I don't like that. I don't like that. The Israelis, through their lobbying companies and activities, blackmail and control our politicians with satanic pedophilia or bribery and extortion through the use of money and funds to buy our politicians. They've done that successfully, and now they're having those politicians allow into Canada, into Australia, into the great United Kingdom, Great Britain, into Europe, into the United States of America. They flooded us with low IQ, criminal-minded people who fucking hate us and want to kill us because of their religious principles. So the Zionists, because of their religious principles, want to kill all of us, and these Muslims want to kill us on their religious principles as well. One used money to get in, the other one that uses muscle. Power and money. Money and power. That's what they're fucking doing to us. And it just pisses me off. Great topic, Viking. I don't forget about Hamas or ISIS or how about Al-Qaeda? Remember Al-Qaeda? They're responsible for blowing up the 9/11 Twin Towers and Building 7, but don't talk about Building 7. And the Pentagon and the Shanksville fucking Pennsylvania plane crash. What plane? That plane crash. Right? I remember that. Al-Qaeda. Now Al-Qaeda is our friend. Al-Qaeda is our friend. Al-Qaeda is our friend. Al-Qaeda is our friend. They finally got rid of Bashar al-Assad in Syria. Finally got him out. He fled to Russia. Bashar al-Assad got him out of Syria, and they put a terrorist, child torturing, child killing, and who the fuck knows what else, asshole Muslim, Israeli, by the way, fake Muslim terrorist Al-Qaeda is now in charge of Syria. And we're supposed to just forget everything these motherfuckers have done to us with Al-Qaeda. And that started back, folks, during what? Benghazi. We were trying to ship missiles over to Al-Qaeda to help them with their mission in Israel. It was another like Iran-Contra affair thing. They were fucking everything up, and then they fucked up Benghazi and got a bunch of people killed. Unfucking believable. Really, folks, unbelievable. This is a good comment. Courageous Cat says they refer to Muslims as their broom. What is a broom? Use a broom to sweep things out of the way that you don't want, to clean things up. The Zionists also call America their broom. Christians are their broom against the Muslims, and Muslims are their broom against the Christians. It just depends on the particular mission. Israel uses the United States of America, our money, our military, our technology right now to broom away Iran is the attempt. But then they use the Muslims in Europe, Canada, the United States of America, also Australia, to broom away the Christians, to fight the Christians. They have us fighting each other. They have black versus white, Muslim versus Christian, rich versus poor, young versus old. It's divide and conquer, divide and conquer, divide and conquer, divide and conquer, all the while hiding behind the Holocaust. It's our shield. You can't hurt us because of the Holocaust. We've been Holocausted. That's why we're allowed to have nukes, because never again will we have a Holocaust. Meanwhile, they just Holocausted the fuck out of Gaza. And in World War II, they Holocausted the fuck out of 60 million Christians in Ukraine and Russia. Oh, yeah, they weren't called the Nation of Israel at that time. They were called Bolsheviks, but they were Zionists. Not a good look, in my opinion. Thank you, Courageous Cat. And I want to thank everybody for supporting this channel and supporting the mission of waking people up. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and your plan. Get it together. Communications, electricity. Build a network in your neighborhood of people that you know, and I don't mean guess, but know, are freedom-minded. We will never get along 100%, folks. Not even within other people. We'll never get along 100%. It's impossible. It just is. Someone may not like your idea on farming or water. Someone may not like your idea on government and how to control traffic and lights and pay for things, right? Yeah, even on a local level, it's hard to get along with everyone. But do your best. Do your best. I'm going to end it with another one from Freedom Eagle, who snuck in today without doing super chats. You're lucky. He says, I'm not worried about Muslims. I am. He says, I do not know how to prepare for the closure of the Hormuz Strait. I do. You're welcome, Patty. That's just too big of SHTF. Yes, it is. And nobody sees it. Not very many. Let's hope the world gets this under control. Damn straight. Now, let me answer these one at a time. I'm not worried about Muslims. I am. I'm not worried about Muslims in Iran or the Middle East. I can't say that one out loud. Okay, I'm not worried about them over there. I'm not worried about Muslims in Africa. I'm not worried about Muslims in Malaysia, Indonesia, the Far East, and Pakistan. I'm not worried about them. You know why? Because they're not in my fucking face. They're not threatening to kill me or my family. But the ones in America are. The ones in America are threatening to kill me, my family, and destroy and take over my country and institute Sharia law. I got a problem with that. You don't know how to prepare for the closure of the Hormuz Strait? Depending on your job and how much fuel you need, store fuel at home. Do it safely. Do it lawfully. Store fuel. Generator, solar panels for power. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz is going to cause massive inflation. Buying food and lots of it and storing it. Intelligently having enough food covering all your food groups, your diet, things you like to eat, spices, got to have spices. Be sure and have staples like rice, beans, whatever you need, canned goods, lots of protein and meat. That's why, Spam and tuna fish, any meat in a can lasts years and years and years. Store it. Store it. That's how you deal with the Strait of Hormuz, is having preps. When you say it's just too big of an SHTF, too big of a shit hitting the fan, wait till you see people coming down your fucking street. I'm not making fun of you, man. Your street. With torches and pitchforks. How about this? Torches and guns. You're not going to get a chance to worry about starving to death. You're not going to get a chance to worry about losing all your money at your bank if you got people trying to fucking murder you in your own town. When it's local and on top of you, that's when you feel it. That's when you feel it. So when you say it's just too big, no, that's way over there. It's too big when you're trapped behind a tree or a fucking rock or in a ditch and people are shooting at you. That's when it's almost too much. And then you just got to you got to pull it out your ass. You got to fucking survive and live. It's fucked up. The problem is the countries that want war and death and famine and pestilence and control of all of us. Look, I love you guys. God bless America, your country, your culture, your civilization. Thank you for supporting the channel, folks. It is greatly appreciated, and I think of all of you guys in very good, personal, dear terms, because you are helping share information to wake people up, and you're asking the questions, you're making the statements, you're engaging in the conversations that help other people learn. I look at every show literally as a learning experience for myself. And I hope and I pray that you guys get the same benefits out of it, as well as a good deal of entertainment. And thank you for the delicious scotch as well. God bless America. May God bless you and your family and keep you safe. Thank you all. I will be back. I said that before. I went to the RMZ a little over 100 days, and then I came back to America because this is where the fight is at. This is my country. Semper Fi.